Hello, nice to see everyone. Today is election day in the United States, and I have been called from within to come on and do a video. So my next one is gonna be about authenticity, but today needed to be a little bit different. So I'm just gonna follow what I'm hearing and do what I'm told from the inside out. This is where I like to listen to the guidance from within, not necessarily from things that come from outside of me, but things that come from inside of me. So today, as I was thinking about Election Day, I was thinking about the values of America because, and I know not everybody watching this call may be from the United States, but when I remember, I was born a long time ago, and it was back when I feel like there was a big love of America. There was a pride in our country, and it was mostly about a dream that people had that was based on the ideas of freedom, the ideas that humans were good from the inside out, and that we all deserved to be treated equally and to be loved and to be cherished and all of these different things, and that we didn't need rulers. We didn't need kings and queens, and we weren't peasants. And so there was an idea that was born as the idea of the United States, which would be that the people would rule the the land, and we would govern ourselves, and we would elect representatives that would represent what we cared about, and we could come together, work together, and create a world that was abundant and beautiful and had many, many values that were based on love and kindness, were based on unity and a dream of a beautiful world, a beautiful life. And I really do believe that most of the human beings that I know share this dream. I don't care which side of the aisle you are on. There is a lot of rhetoric that tries to make us think that the other side does not care about this kind of thing. But I guarantee that everybody I've met when I get to know them cares about these kinds of values. And so today I was just really focusing on, and I have some notes that I'm going to refer to, of what are our values and how do we come back to what we value. And the values that I really wanted to just mention are freedom, free to express, free to be who we are, and free to decide for ourselves what's important and what we care about. The second one is kindness. If you follow Christianity and the teachings of Jesus Christ, he always taught love your neighbor as you love yourself. And this isn't just in the Christian religions. I think this spans all religions, all countries, the world, is that we all want to be treated the way that we we all want to be treated well. We all want to be treated the way we think we deserve to be treated. And so the idea of love your neighbor as yourself is embedded in that value of kindness, I think. And then the last one is love. Love is really what I believe the core value of most people is. And I know that could mean a lot to a lot of different people, but to me is love is a feeling of belonging. It is a feeling of peace, and it is a feeling of ease. It is a feeling of safety. It is a feeling that of being valued, being important. And I think that that value is shared in being a loving person, feeling loved, and feeling lovable. All three of those are part of love to me. Um, but what I see in the world right now is the exact opposite of a lot of that. I see hatred, I see judgment, and I see war everywhere I look. Not everywhere I look, but there is a lot of that going on: hatred, judgment, and war. Pushing against, I like to call it. It's like, what do I not want? And I need to control this outside of me because it's going to take over. And behind that, we feel the feelings of powerlessness. We feel oppressed and controlled. Uh, and those are all the exact opposite feelings of our values. So no wonder we're fighting so hard. No wonder we're up in arms. No wonder we're feeling so, you know, uncomfortable and in pain, is because everything we're feeling and we're seeing is the exact opposite of our values. And it's almost like we get caught up in this energy of these awful feelings, and we just can't get out of them. And so we hear these things like rise above, and it feels like we're giving up, we're surrendering, we're giving away our power. But in my life, I started to notice that the more powerless I felt, the more powerless things would come to me. The more I would look around and more evidence of my powerlessness would show up. And the more hatred I felt around me, the more hatred I would see in the world. And I had to ask myself, how do I feel about myself? When I'm working with people, what I find is that at the core of what causes us pain is hate for self, is a oppression of self, a loathing of self, a feeling of powerlessness, a feeling of worthlessness, unworthiness. And we can cover those up and say that they're not real. But I ask you to consider, how do you treat yourself? How do you treat yourself? What do you say to yourself every day? And if your best friend said those things to you, would that still be your best friend? Is the hatred coming from the inside out and we're trying to control it from the outside in? And if it's coming from the inside out, how do we start to change that? How do we find the love that we all seek? How do we find the peace that we all seek within us so that it can become part of the world? And that's what I focus on, helping people to discover. But I have to constantly do it for myself too. There's no way I'm perfect at it. Every day I have to work at it and continue to see where I'm hating myself, where I'm not living my values, where I'm spreading hatred in the world. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today is, can we also look through a different lens and see, what are we contributing to the world? What are we adding to the soup? And are we adding our very best? Are we giving our best? Are we giving our best to ourselves so that we can give our best to the world? Martin Luther King had a dream, and we all are familiar with his dream, and it was a beautiful dream. And we need to ask ourselves, what is our dream? What is our dream for the world? We spend so much time pushing against what we don't want, but what do we want for the world and for our lives? And many of us are familiar with Martin Luther King's dream. But I think it's time for us all to go inside and write our own dreams and to start focusing on our dreams and to spend more time focusing on our dreams for this world, whether it's America or you live in a different country. What is your dream? When you think about sports or you think about an athlete or somebody who's really trying to achieve something in the world, what do they think about? Does an athlete think about his opponent, or does he think about himself or herself or their self and what they want to achieve and where they're going? Does a professional athlete have to keep their eye on the prize, or do they keep their eye on their opponent? If you think about playing in the World Cup or the Super Bowl in America, or maybe if you're a golfer, it's the British Open. If you're a tennis player, it might be Wimbledon, or it might be the Australian Open. Anywhere in the world, there are professional sports and professional athletes, Olympic champions who are going for the gold. And we all know they have to focus on what they need to do to get to the gold. And so we need to start to focus on our dream. How do we get to the gold? What is gold for us? And how do we let go of what our opponents are doing and focus on our dreams? And so to end this video today, I have written for myself something that I call a prayer for New Earth. And I choose to call it that, but your dream you want to call a dream, whatever language you want to use, please use it. But start to think about what is your dream for your life and for this planet and for Mother Earth and whatever you care about. So I'm going to read my dream, and I just invite each and every one of you to spend some time and think about your dream as we go into this tumultuous time that we're in the middle of all over the world. Things are not what we dream about, maybe in some places, but we're not seeing that. And how do we start to focus more on where we'd like to go? Like those professional athletes, like those people who become a success. You have to look where you're going and not look down. So here's my prayer, and I wish you the very best. I see a world where anything is possible. There are no limits. I see a world of unity where people love each other unconditionally and delight in the differences and unique qualities and talents of each person. I see a world where each person is loved and cherished for exactly who they are and never feels the need to be anything but their authentic self. I see a world where people are encouraged to follow their dreams and engage in activities that light up their souls from the day they are born until the day they transition out of their body. I see a world where everyone prospers, the humans, the animals, the trees, and every inch of this earth and the universe. A world where everyone thrives, everything thrives, in balance with nature, living in harmony with the natural laws of abundance. I see a world where people join hands and love one another, where communities thrive and take care of each other. A world where people sing and dance, laugh and play together. I see a world full of creativity, where art, color, music, science, and light are everywhere. I see this creative spark in everyone, and I see people joyfully creating and knowing that everything they create is plenty. I see a world of teaching and learning where everyone focuses on what they are interested in and follows their bliss to explore and learn more. I see a world where animals romp and play and have plenty of room to live and thrive right where they belong. I see a world where humans and animals communicate and understand each other, respect each other, and the environment needed to thrive. A world where steps are taken to ensure that each being has what it wants and needs in balance with nature. I see a world where the earth thrives in all her beauty, a world where abundant forests, clean oceans and waterways, clear skies, pristine air, a self-regulated earth that is respected, honored, and allowed to share her resources in a most loving and abundant way. I see a world with starry nights where every human is outside and aware of the magic of life, where humans are fully engaged and aware of the wonders of the universe and fully connected to pure love. I see a world where the divine masculine and divine feminine are alive and thriving in everyone. A world that holds the energy of both as perfect and sacred. A world where power and nurturing are in perfect balance and are honored by all. I see a world where everyone loves and appreciates their bodies, no matter the shape, sex, or size. I see everyone remembering the incredible vessel that our bodies are and standing in awe of the functions that they perform each day to keep us going and thriving. A world where we feel joy and love in and about our bodies, and where there is no room for judgment, guilt, or shame. I see a world full of smiles and kisses, laughter and joy, a world filled with deeply satisfying friendships, relationships, and families. I see a world where people are lined up to give to each other, to share, and to help and contribute. I see a world full of possibilities, innovation, invention, healthy technologies, ideas, and solutions. I see a world filled with inspired, healthy people who thrive in every way. I see a world full of romance for those that seek intimacy, a world where couples connect in their hearts and share true passion and respect for one another. I see a world full of all of these things and more. What do you see? Shall we use our imaginations, our ability to dream, and bring this into being now? I say yes. And before I go, I just want to say that many of you may think that you know from which side I come from, the left or the right of the aisle. But what I've learned is that we have been taught that what we want is not what the other side wants. And I beg to differ. I come from both sides of the aisle. I am a human being, and I find all of these values in both sides. These are core values we all share, and we have been taught that they are not the other side's values, but they are. So we need to rise above and find out who is trying to convince us that is not what we care about. And if you care about something different, then I honor you. And I ask you to get clear on what you care about and to bring that into the world and to see it manifesting in the beautiful way that it can. And I choose for all of this to be for the highest good of humanity. Thank you for your time and have a beautiful day.